Hello everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I am so excited to be joining you as part of the Create, Craft, and Share YouTube Hop. When Scrap and Madge came up with this great idea, I jumped right in at the opportunity to do it. So I am just going to jump into my project. I'm doing a little bit of a different type of project today, and because I will be showing you the steps, but I won't actually be doing it with you. And the reason why is because this is probably going to be a little bit lengthy. So the first thing is, as you are probably well aware by now, we are using this color palette as our inspiration. And so I was excited about this color palette because I thought it was perfect for spring. And so I'm going to just set that aside. And then I was trying to decide what in the world was I going to do with this color palette. So I have recently taken a Studio Calico watercolor class, and I have signed up for the online card classes, Watercolor for Cards class that's coming up by Jennifer McGuire and Christina Werner. And so I thought, I am gathering all these nice little watercolory crafty supplies, but I need a place to store them. So I thought, well, what am I going to use? And I remembered a box, and I'll show you the box in a minute. And I am going to be altering the box to store my watercolor stuff in. So to start with, I'm going to be painting the box with this Ceram Coat by Delta, and it's just a creamy, it's a light ivory. And then I'm going to be distressing it with Tattered Rose Distress ink. The papers I'm going to be using are most likely going to be from this collection by Graphic 45. This is the Secret Garden. And I kind of thought it was kind of crafty, but it reminded me of watercolor. So I thought that will be perfect. So the box that I'm going to use, let me set these aside because it's kind of big, is this box. And this is just a fun box that I picked up at a yard sale. I think it housed a puzzle originally, and it may have even come with the puzzle. If it did, I probably tossed it, which if I did, that was my bad because I could use the puzzle pieces for crafting. But I just really like the box because it reminded me of a suitcase. So I am going to be painting this box. It does need a little bit of work, so I'm going to need to reinforce it like on the corners and stuff. And so I am going to be painting it for my part of the hop. So I will show you when the first steps are done. Thanks so much. Okay, so I'm back and I have the box all painted. So I took the acrylic paint and I put 2 or 3 coats, I'm not sure how many, and you can still see some of the original box color coming through. Also, in some places the paint is chipping. This is a really easy to chip. I probably maybe needed to put something like gesso or something down on it first, but I think it's going to be fun, and the chipping's just going to make it look more old and rugged, so I'm okay with that. Now to fix the edges, after I put the coats down, then I followed up with this Crackle Distress paint from the Tattered Rose from Ranger, and I went over the top. So that's the pink hue that you see coming there, and it is definitely crackled, which is very neat. Now on the sides here, you'll notice right here, this is where the corners were getting a little bit separated, and I'm not going to be doing anything real heavy duty with this box. It's just going to be used for light use to store things in. And so what I did is I just took washi tape and put it around the corners. So we were pulling in another color here, and I did that on all 4 of the upper corners. And then the next thing that I did is, if you remember from the first part of the video, we had these they're almost like leather straps that looks like they originally had some kind of a closure on it. So I just bought sticky back Velcro so that it will still be able to be closed rather than trying to replace and find hardware to match. So that is the next step of the project all done. And when we come back, we will have some decorating done. Okay, so I am back with the completed box, and I just want to show you what I did to finish it off. Now, if you remember from the very beginning of the video, I said that I was going to be using the Secret Garden 8x8 stash. And so this piece of paper here is one of the pieces of paper from that stash that has the scene already painted. And so what I did is I took watercolor paper and I took this Tim Holtz cargo stencil, and I used my watercolor markers, or the distress markers, and I wrote out the word watercolors, and I used all different colors. And then when I was all done, I took my homemade perfect pearls and I spritzed it all up, and so it's got a little bit of shimmer, but it's kind of that messy watery color feel that I was really going for this project. And so I then just cut that and glued that over. Actually, underneath here, it actually says the Secret Garden or something, but that's okay. I didn't mind covering it over because this is for my watercolor collection and the things I'm going to be doing with watercolors. So then I took some of this 3 Girl Jam, really gorgeous. This is Distress Lace from the Distress lace pack from 3 Girl Jam, and I put some of that at the top and the bottom. I tucked some of them in under this flower. The flower is just a Recollections flower. And then I matted some of the pieces from the pattern paper because there are all sorts of little tags and stamps and things that look like seed packets and things that look like stamps, and I just matted some of those and glued those down. I just used ATG, just simple ATG. And then I took my Martha Stewart butterfly punch and I punched some different flowers out of, some different butterflies. Now, if you watch many of my videos, you know that quite frequently I incorporate butterflies in to my projects. There's a couple reasons for that. The first is that I just think of butterflies as new beginnings and turning from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and that's representative to me of how the Lord changes a person's life as they grow to become more like Him. And I also my mom likes butterflies, my grandmother liked butterflies, so this is kind of a little piece of them that I put into quite a few of my projects. This one also has another special little thing right down here. This seed packet is a Lily of the Valley seed packet, and my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, actually one of his favorite songs was Lily of the Valley, and so to me I wanted to incorporate that into this is just kind of a special box to me. So there we have the outside of the box. Now the inside of the box I did not do anything to. I just left it as is. I may go back and change that later, but for now I just wanted to leave it all the way it was. And so we're going to open up the box though, and I want to show you what I have put inside to start with. So to start with, I have my watercolors, and I've not even used these yet, but I've got those inside. I've got some multimedia matte, or in matte. I've got this watercolor set, which was a really good deal. I got it for only $3.99 at a Ross, good deal. And then my Neocolor 2s. So I've got those tucked in there, and as you can see there's still room in here, and that's because I decided to take this a little bit further. And I have these pencil boxes that I had picked up in clearance from Target, probably a couple years ago, year and a half or so ago. And so I covered the outside of the boxes with the pattern paper. And I know it's kind of messy on some of them, but I didn't care. I just wanted it to kind of coordinate in. And again, I have one of the little seed packets here. And then this is some of the scraps from the watercolor paper that I had been playing with. And I just took my distress marker and I wrote on here, this is my brushes. Now this originally had a piece of elastic to hold it closed, but I couldn't put the way they put the box together, I couldn't put the pattern paper over the elastic without losing it, so I just cut it off. And I had this kind of elasticized lace in my stash that I picked up at a yard sale, and I just used that to make the closure of the boxes. So here are my brushes, and so that's the first box, and that just slides right into there, and the box still closes. then the next box are is for my watercolor pencils, and I don't have a lot of them, and I'll probably get more if I get into this more and more, but these are the old Crayola watercolor pencils that I've had for years and years and years. So who knows, I may pick up some more down the road. So that also will just slide right next to, let's see, my brush just came out. There's one brush in there that's just a tad bit too big, and it has to go on its side, but that'll slide in there. And then the last one is for my gelatos, and of course this is my favorite one because it's purple. This is Distress ink. It's the Dusty Concord, and that will just fit right there. And then also I'll just throw in some of the extra stuff that came with my gelatos. So now I have my kit all ready for my class. It's pretty, it reminds me of watercolors, and it's all me. So thanks so much for stopping by, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. And one of those little things for today is this hop. Excuse me. Be sure and check out the next stop in the hop, and remember, there are prizes to be won by subscribing and commenting, so be sure and check out every step of the hop. It's really been a lot of fun doing this together. So again, thanks for stopping by today, and have a great day. Bye.